Looking through the lens, opinions of three friends. Looking through the lens, sometimes they don't make sense. Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of Through the Lens. Today we are reviewing the all-new movie called Cherry, directed by the Russo brothers. Written by Angela Russo-Ostat and Jessica Goldberg. And one more credit. Based on the novel by Nico Walker. There you go. Based on a novel, didn't know that. Alright, Cherry drifts from college dropout to army medic in Iraq, anchored only by his true love, Emily. But after returning from the war with PTSD, his life spirals into drugs and crime as he struggles to find his place in the world. My face is frozen. Nice. Alright, let's continue. Alright, this movie stars Tom Holland, Clara Bravo, Jack Rayner, Michael Rispoli, Jeff Wahlberg, Forrest Goodluck, Michael Giffoni, and much more, because big
Correction,
cast.
Tiara? It's not an L, it's an I.
Oh, I can't read. Too small. Kiara Bravo. My mistake. And yeah. How's that? How the movie, boys?
First impressions for me, didn't enjoy the film. I think it is a good display of the talents of the actors. Not so much on the side of the directors or the writers here. Personally, just didn't enjoy this at all. I do, how would you say? I appreciate the fact that they're doing something new. This isn't another Endgame. Not a superhero thing. This is, I guess, a crime drama. Best way to put it. I don't know. Bit of a romance.
It's a thriller.
Bit of a thriller. Yeah, so it's something different. So I appreciate that, but ultimately, I don't think it really worked. Yeah.
What are you, Sunny?
I like all movies. It was fine for me,
Hmm.
but that's just me.
Well, same here, man. I thought it was alright. Had some interesting things to say and interesting characters. I still somewhat enjoyed it. Alright, let's get into the acting. This movie stars Tommy Holland. Tommy Holland's pretty good, eh?
Probably the highlight. The acting
It
in
really
general,
shows that he is really impressive.
very, very, very.
And once again acts as an American man. Your thoughts, Mr. Jack?
Always in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, he delivers a great performance in this one. What? Oh,
coughed
because I
twice.
coughed. I thought. Sorry, just out of nowhere, it sounded like you just went laugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will get back on track. Okay, I think he delivers a great performance. I also think the supporting cast are also really good too. I don't think there were any weak performances in the entire film.
Same there. Supporting actors are really good. Kiara's good. The boys are good. And military people. More people. That drug dealer man. And much more.
Yeah.
Right.
In my opinion, it's I guess, highlight of the movie, and for me, like the only good thing about the movie. But yeah,
The acting.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's get into the writing. Should we start with positives or negatives?
you can take the positives, eh?
Alright, let's
I
talk
will
about positives
go
here.
through it.
In my observation, this movie is a big introspection into the horrors of addiction, war, and lower economic communities being taken advantage of. And like, What's the Tommy's Cherry? Cherry himself is a dude with no aspirations, and he's of the lower socioeconomic class. Therefore, he cannot afford to do things. And because of that, he's forced to do things that makes him end up in shittier situations. And I think that's a fair and pretty realistic scenario.
Sure.
Yeah, something that hasn't been explored too much in the movies. You said dialogue was shitty, but like I thought dialogue.
I think the narration was cool. I liked
There
when
was
he
narration in
turned to
the
the camera and he
first
was like,
bit
"Yo."
of the movie, were there?
It comes back later as well.
And
It's
the
throughout the
last
entire thing.
bits, yeah, here and there. That was cool.
It was
Dialogue, I
pretty
don't
cool.
think was shitty, but I mean, it fits
Okay, well,
with the characters, in my opinion. Like,
I think both the characters and the writing is shitty. In terms of dialogue, I, to me, I look, I don't mind swearing, right? Swearing is fine. It's just I felt like it was really, really excessive in this movie. Like trying to be like, oh, we're not a family-friendly Avengers movie. We're like a real hardcore adult film. So like, it felt like a bit over the top at times, and kind of just like, can I hear the actual what the character is saying without so much swearing on it? Obviously, just
mm,
me. I know you guys don't really care, but like, yeah,
well, to me, it's like it fits
it
with
just
the character themselves. Like they're fucked people, so they say fucked things. Therefore, they swear a lot.
sure. But well, it comes from the start of the film as well, where I guess they're less fucked.
Maybe.
But actually, I'll go off of that and talk about my main problem with the film. The first act of the film is incredibly, incredibly weak. So that's kind of
Mm.
what makes me not enjoy the movie as a whole. Because first of all, introduced to the characters, and this is before they go through all their struggles and shit, and they're already presented as pretty unlikable. There's a relationship that you're meant to care about, but it's very poorly established. Very the pacing as well here. It just goes super fast. I don't feel anything for the characters. I haven't been introduced to them that well, and I don't really know what their relationship is much. And honestly, just seems like a big mess. And then a character makes a decision that is probably the biggest decision in the film, which will set up all the events later. And it's really poorly motivated. I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with me on that part, right?
But it also goes with the situation they're in, mate. They're from a small town with no economic opportunities. Therefore, the only option to do something or to make some income is to join the military.
I agree, but that's not how they present in this film. They just present it as his motivation. I don't know if it's spoilers or not. I might have to come back to it in
A little
spoilers,
bit,
but
sorry.
I agree they should have presented it that they should have looked through it that way, but they don't go deep enough through that, and they make it seem about this character in particular is stupid motivation, in my opinion.
Actually, yeah, I guess they focus more on
Yeah.
the individual motivation. But like, I guess from the whole introduction of the environment they're in, I already get that he's doing it because of these other factors as well.
A
But
bit,
that
but
might not
yeah,
be as obvious to people, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. So that kind of just ruins me for the entire film, because that's the point the introduction is meant when you're meant to like actually care about your characters and stuff. So if the rest of the movie I don't care about the characters, even the situations in it get more interesting and there is a bit more thematic stuff in there. I ultimately still don't really care because I never got that first hook in the opening act.
Mm.
And I'll also just add to it, there are some themes which just are really poorly handled, particularly without spoiling it too much. They have, I don't know, it's a really weird choice. They try to take like a satirical, absurdist lens to the film. It also comes down to cinematography and stuff, so I can talk about that later. But they're trying to be like a bit of a satire in the way, for example, they'll name their bags specific names. They do things with lighting on like bank tellers' faces. I don't know, sure if you remember that scene. Stuff like that. They are very specific choices, but it doesn't really work with the movie because, like you said, you're exploring these characters with the addiction, low economic communities and stuff. They touch upon the bank stuff, but they do not go anywhere near further enough that they should. They should have, and it just comes off as
Yeah, it's pretty surface level criticism.
it's very surface level. Yeah. Um. I think I had. Do I have anything else?
You
Yeah, that's about it for
yeah.
Make a point.
I think the main theme they focused on this one was like addiction and crime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not all the themes are terribly
Yeah.
explored. It's like
Through that. Alright. Anything to add, Mr. Sunny?
Nothing.
Okie dokie.
oh, one more. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You go.
I was just gonna say, if I have to add anything, is that I don't agree with anything because I don't think anything of it. So
Oh.
I've got nothing else to add.
Gotcha.
I'll just add one more thing. To be honest, I felt that the movie was really, really long. It's like over 2 hours, right?
It was long.
Mhm.
And I felt like it didn't need to be. They could have cut a lot of stuff out.
I agree on that.
And like
Too long.
weirdly, like they could have extended some stuff like in the openings of the movie, but they could have cut stuff later on in the movie. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Go to cinematography. How's that in the movie? Credits. Who done the cinematography? It's done by Newton Thomas and Newton Thomas Siegel. That's his name. He's the director of photography. Done by him. What y'all think?
Good in itself? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was good at times, though I guess
Yeah.
just like the rest of the movie, it's kind of inconsistent. They will do. Sometimes it'll look really nice. Sometimes it looks like way, way, way over stylized for no reason in particular. It's super duper flashy. They do a lot of things with like lighting, etc. They change aspect ratios in the middle of the thing, which I guess they're all very specific choices, but ultimately, I don't think that was necessary thematically or connected that much with the movie. It's not terrible, but like just the inconsistency of it sometimes just like broke immersion with me.
Yeah.
Also, I
Yeah.
want to come back to cinematography in the spoiler section.
Alright, yeah.
I've got
Brilliant.
one
Yeah.
thing to add. This cinematographer, well, firstly, Cherry was nominated for American Society of Cinematographers Award for Outstanding Achievement in Cinematography and Theatrical Releases. Say that 5 times fast. But this cinematographer began his career on documentaries, or partly documentaries. He's done a lot of famous movies: The Five Bloods, Extraction, Bohemian Rhapsody, X-Men, Apocalypse, Days of Future Past.
He's an
Like,
excellent
he's done a
boy.
bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Well, Extraction is a banger, and so is The Five Blood.
Also, he's become the regular cinematographer of director Bryan Singer.
Oh, we know Brian Singer, don't we, dear?
Where he's from?
He's the
Oh,
X-Men.
X-Men guy.
He made X-Men 1, X-Men 2, Days of the Future Past,
Mhm.
Apocalypse, I think.
Mhm.
Oh,
The
that's
stuff
why
I
he's in
directed, yeah.
Apocalypse, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. Alright. Let's move on to editing and visuals. The editing in this movie was done by Jeff Groff. Let's see, yeah. He's done. Oh, he did the Joker, mate.
Ah,
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And he did, what's this? Project X. Don't know that one. War Dogs. Well, the important one is he did Joker. So, yeah.
Yes.
What do you think of the editing, boys?
It's alright.
Cool stuff in it.
interesting title cards, transitions, that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
The freeze frame
Lots of
stuff
colours.
when Tommy does the fucking narration shit.
Yeah,
That's something.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, lots of cuts to something and then cut back. You know what I mean?
This is like tons of transitions that are really cool as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Probably won't go into specifics here, but yeah, pretty cool. Like it looks like natural similar transitions from maybe one scene to the other when the camera's panning. Pretty cool.
Oh,
And
yeah,
VFX wise, it's a good looking movie.
yeah.
The war stuff is all looks pretty nice. Yeah.
Speaking of visuals, a lot of nice lighting scenes being lit in a certain way. Sometimes they're a bit too dark and we can't see shit. But yeah.
And sometimes people are really well lit up to highlight them.
Yeah. Alright. Let's get on to the music. How's the music in this film, eh? I thought it was alright.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any
Yeah, that's alright.
specific music? Don't remember.
Not really.
But we can talk
I
about the
remember
special audio. You said?
I remember what's the starting. I think it was like the intro song, "Brand New Day," Van Morrison. I think
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
a
yeah,
pretty good
yeah.
one.
Um, nice. And here, we can also speak about the special audio mixing they did. Or
Yeah.
spatial audio.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. I guess we'll have like this is like a special audio section.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It
I guess it connects to the music.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Cool effects.
It made it. Yeah.
Super spatial.
Yeah.
Hey. Even with stereo, you can do like fake surround sound.
Front and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we're now getting into the spoiler zone. Spoiler zone.
Spoilers.
No recorded? Alright.
Spoiler zone.
Alright, we're in the spoiler zone. Timestamp there. And yeah. Skip to the end if you don't want to listen to spoilers.
Timestamp
Yeah, timestamp.
on the screen. Yeah.
Alright, what do we have here? We have
I want to start off by acknowledging the elephant in the room, or more like the ass in the camera. They have an ass cam.
that was beautiful.
That has nothing to. That's not very important, but I just want to point that out.
And it was there for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was cool. You could see allegedly Tom Holland's ass. If you ever
Totally
want to
was,
experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to touch on. Like I was saying before, the character's motivation to go to the war primarily is because he's sad because his girlfriend broke up with him. A relationship, by the way, which I didn't give a shit about since it was very poorly established and just seemed like absolute shit.
Yes.
With yes,
Although, I think that goes into these characters having no aspirations or goals, and that they can't really do anything else if they want to do something different. Like Cherry at that moment and at that point, he was pretty sad, right? And he wanted to get away from that whole situation, I guess. And I guess the easiest option for him to do was to join the military. He didn't have any
sure.
avenues, any something else to pull his what do you call it? I don't know, fucking soul in it to do something else.
Even though he'd been around his friend's brother who had like PTSD.
He didn't really give a shit, did he? Nah.
Well, he
Yeah.
acknowledges it in the introduction of the film.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's PTSD, but like,
He
I'm
was neutral
sad.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm sad. Maybe if I get PTSD, it'll be better.
Yeah, and that ended up with other mental disturbances, such as being sad that your friends died in Iraq. Mm.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's all because he was sad that his girlfriend broke up.
But then he was pranked.
Yeah.
Because his girlfriend was like, nah, I didn't want to go to Canada. I just wanna. I wanted to get away from you for a while for some reason and then tell you.
Because I love you.
Because I love you. Whoa. Fucked people, am I right?
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
I know, right?
Really interesting.
Speaking of fucked people, yeah. People are fucked in this movie, and they're in fucked situations. Therefore, fucked movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, things this movie did explore in was the effects of addiction and how it's all garbage. Do not get addicted to drugs, kids, because if you do, you'll rob a bank. Because you're poor
No,
and
no,
you
you
spent
don't.
all your money on the dope. And you keep wanting to buy more dope when you run out of dope. And then you rob a bank. So, drugs, addiction, leads to crime. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. And, I
And
don't
the
know.
main reason why they're on the drugs for a start is because the government isn't properly supporting the veterans when they return.
Yes. So yeah, speaking of veterans, the war they're fighting in Iraq, it's just garbage. The sending of kids that have nothing to do to fight the fucking civilians in Iraq. And yes, and then they come back being all crazy. And then the government's like, have fun on your own, and we can't really do anything for you, yeah? So they get poor, they get crazy, and they get drugs, and they get addicted, and they do crimes. And they go to prison. Speaking of prison, Cherry did go to prison. You remember that?
At the
Mhm.
very end, yeah.
Yeah. What was the prison scene for? Just to show, hey,
Reformation.
yeah,
And because the girl was waiting for him. Remember? They're really madly in love. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a romance story, is it?
It's a pretty. It seems like a pretty toxic relationship, to be honest, because he
Yes, it
kind of
is.
roped her into it. He's not exact. He does try and stop her from using drugs, but like too late.
Well, he started it. He did drugs,
Yeah,
and then
he's
it's
not.
like, and then she tried the drugs, and now she addicted too. But
I think
true love
this all
story.
adds on to what you were saying before about the satire in this movie not really working. The whole thing where she started using drugs was only because it's like the classic joke. I can't take his shit anymore, so I'll take some drugs anyways, just like you're doing.
Yeah.
And
It
that was
is,
like
yeah.
I feel like that was also satire-ish. That does not really work in the whole scheme of things of this film.
Oh,
Mm,
and
yeah.
just to clarify, because I watched an interview with Tom Holland like before this. The whole film is meant to be like through, I guess, an absurdist lens.
I can see this. I guess see that. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a movie about fucked people in fucked predicaments, which kind of like. I don't mind. It has its own qualities. Hey, yeah. Anything else?
Cameos. You want to talk about cameos?
Ooh, we have Tommy Holland's little bro. What's his name? I forgot.
Harry? Was it Harry?
Harry Holland. Yeah, he looks like a certain Johnson in the world. Lots of Johnsons in the world. You can find him yourself. And cameos as well. Speaking of cameos, we have the one and only Russo brothers starring in the film.
Oh,
Not starring, but they're
that's
there.
just Joe. I think that's Joe.
Or was it just one of the brothers? I forgot.
Yeah, one of them. He was like a restaurant owner or something and stuff.
He was a drunk restaurant owner. Yeah. I think that was it for the cameos.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that it for spoilers?
Yeah. If
So I
you,
like there's some like titles for these characters. Sergeant whomever, Drill Sergeant Masters, Doctor whomever. So
Yeah, that's
I
the.
think I think this absurdist lens on this film is mostly portrayed through the eyes of Tom Holland's character Cherry. I think a lot of things are portrayed through his eyes, and we're supposed to see it as that way. But it's not very obvious, and that's why it detracts from the film a bit. Also, I think another thing to add on to this, the really spatial audio, that's probably like my biggest hint while watching that it was supposed to be from Cherry's perspective, everything. Even though we get his third person view
true
a
that.
bunch.
Yeah.
It was mostly his first person perspective. It's just me, or did as the film went on, did it become less spatial, the audio?
Yeah, it did.
So is that like a drug thing?
He
You
becomes
lose your
number.
senses, mate.
Or maybe
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mixer just became lazier. The engineer just lazy.
Mixer was on drugs and stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so it might be like a drug thing, or it could be like a he's lost sense of his touch, lost touch of his senses. Uh, I was thinking of something else.
He has he has the
Oh
AirPods
yeah,
on.
mixed with lazy. He's done with life. I don't know. In any case, the audio I think became less spatial. That was something I noticed as well as something you guys say. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, also, it was it's nominated for an award, outstanding achievement in sound editing, sound effects, and foley for feature film.
Probably
Yeah,
because of
I believe.
the spatials.
Perhaps. So it'll
Very
be
nice.
interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess we shall move on to the verdicts.
Yeah.
Okay, time for final verdicts. Welcome back, everyone who skipped the spoiler zone. It's time for the verdicts. I'll start with myself. So to me, this movie, it was a cool concept. It had some interesting themes and storyline things. Interesting themes and stories. Acting was really good. Story pacing wise, it was a bit long, really long. 2 hours and was it 2 hours and a half, something like that.
2 hours and a bit. It's only like 2 hours and something. Like some
2 hours
beats.
and 10 minutes ish. That was a bit long. Could have been cut. And exploration of this story could have been better. And it was still a interesting movie with its own perks. And I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Damn.
Oh, by the way, I was talking some dog poo fake news. 2 hours 20 movie. So yeah.
Oh.
Okay, still pretty long.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. Alright,
yeah.
Jack.
A long, bloated film, in my opinion, with some shitty writing, surface level tackling of theme, very terrible first act, unlikable characters. Overall, just wasn't an enjoyable time. Has some great performances. There's also some really good use of sound. Yeah, it's also very overly stylized, and they try to take it from like a satirical angle, which I don't think works at all. Um, and this film, I'm really sorry to say, but this film, it's going to be like also based on like just pure enjoyment factor. Like, I probably wouldn't watch this again, right? I might
Yeah.
have to go with like a
Or
2.5 on this one.
two. Two.
Jeez. Okay.
I would rather watch Pure Hearts, to be honest.
Damn.
Wow. So what do
It's
you
better
give
than
it?
Antebellum, though. I just want to clarify that. It's a bit better than Antebellum.
So,
Yes,
dear, you gave it 6, right?
you gave it a 7.
But actually, yeah,
7.
6. It's closer to 6, actually. Light 7, strong
What's
6.
the 6?
Strong 6.
Honestly, I felt like a 7 just because it's fine to me.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can have problems with it. I didn't catch on that. It was just like a unique film to me.
But
And
a
I
2,
don't have any
mate?
opinions
Really?
either, so.
I didn't like it at all.
We all have opinions
yeah.
here.
That is
So-
a combined average of
Fucking
13, 15.5 divided by 3. It's like 5 point.
5.
No.
5.5.
5.1.
5.1.
5. That's 5.
Let's just go for a 5, yeah.
5.
And
All right.
Good
average
rounding.
film,
5.
yeah.
Alright,
With
everyone.
heavy inequalities.
We got a Unholy Trinity average of 5 out of 10. And, like, tell us what you think of the movie if you watched it. And tell us what to review next. Like, if you like this, don't dislike. If you dislike, give it a like as well. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And that'll be it from us today. And we will be seeing you on the next episode. Goodbye.
I heard ooh when you say we will. I heard ooh.
Woo woo.
Me too.
Bye bye.
Bye.